Happiness didn't arrive the way you expected. There was no sudden revelation, no dramatic moment where everything clicked into place. It arrived quietly, almost shyly, on a day that looked like any other. You woke up already tired, carrying the familiar weight of responsibility, comparison, and the quiet pressure to be doing more with your life. The world moved fast around you, and you did your best to keep pace, even when your heart felt a step behind. Somewhere along the way, happiness began to feel like something meant for other people, people who had figured it out, people who knew their purpose, people who smiled easily. You told yourself you'd find it later, after things calmed down, after you fixed what felt broken, after you became someone better. But that day, something shifted, not outside of you, inside. You noticed a small path you'd never paid attention to before. It wasn't hidden, just overlooked, a place you'd passed countless times without stopping, and for reasons you couldn't explain, you slowed down. If this moment feels familiar, keep listening, because happiness often begins when we stop rushing past ourselves. The path led somewhere quiet, somewhere unremarkable, a place without expectations waiting at the door. No one asked who you were becoming, no one asked what you'd achieved. You were allowed to arrive exactly as you were. As you walked, your breath softened, your shoulders lowered just slightly, and for the first time in a long while, you noticed how much effort you'd been using just to exist. You realized something gently, without judgment. You hadn't lost happiness. You'd been postponing it. You had been treating joy like a reward, something earned only after struggle, sacrifice, and perfection. But happiness isn't a finish line. It's a presence. It shows up in moments that don't ask you to prove anything. The light filtered differently here, warmer, kinder. The air felt less urgent. You sat down, unsure how long you'd been standing for others, but never resting for yourself. And in that stillness, happiness didn't announce itself, it simply made space. Space to breathe, space to feel, space to notice that nothing was wrong with you for wanting ease. If this is helping you even a little, keep listening. You remembered the version of yourself who laughed more freely, the one who found joy in small things, music playing in another room, sunlight through a window, the comfort of being understood without explanation. That version of you hadn't disappeared. They had been waiting for permission. Happiness doesn't demand a perfect life. It doesn't require everything to be resolved. It just asks for attention. As you sat there, you understood something important. You don't become happy by fixing yourself. You become happy by accepting yourself. The weight you carried wasn't proof of strength. It was proof of endurance, and endurance deserves rest. When you stood again, the world hadn't changed, but you had. You walked back slowly, aware of your steps, your breath, the quiet steadiness returning to your body. Happiness walked with you, not loud, not overwhelming, but real. It didn't promise that life would be easy. It promised that you didn't have to abandon yourself to survive it. If you're still here, let this sink in. You are allowed to feel joy before everything makes sense. You are allowed to rest before you're finished. You are allowed to be happy now, not later. And if this story is bringing you even a moment of calm or clarity, Don't forget to subscribe, like, and ring the bell so you don't miss new stories of hope, healing, and quiet happiness. Because happiness isn't something you chase, it's something you remember, and it's waiting for you quietly whenever you're ready to notice it. Thank you for listening.